Hey, I get it. When you're looking at a multi-camera security system, you're juggling a lot of worries. Will it actually record the nighttime detail I need? Will the app be simple enough for me to pull up footage on a phone? And most importantly, am I going to waste my hard-earned money on a system that ends up sitting idle in a closet? That hesitation is real, especially when you're comparing a 4K solution that promises 16 channels against a handful of cheaper HD kits. If you're trying to decide whether the Lorex NC4K4FMV package is the right fit for your home or small business setup, stick around. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the kind of place where this system shines. The package comes with an NVR that records at 30 frames per second in true 4K, 2 motorized Varifocal cameras and 2 listen-in audio cameras, all of which drop into a 4 TB hard drive by default. If you have a property that spans multiple entry points, say a 2-story home with a front porch, side driveway, backyard, and garage, the 16-channel capacity gives you room to expand without adding another recorder later. The motorized Varifocal lenses are a big plus because you can fine-tune the field of view remotely, which is handy when you're trying to cover a wide lawn but still want a close-up on a side gate. In practice, I've seen users set the Varifocal cams to a wide 4mm angle during the day, then automatically tighten to 2.8mm at night when they want a tighter shot of a driveway. Low light performance is where most buyers draw a line in the sand. Lorex calls these nocturnal cameras, and the test footage that's publicly available does show decent detail in dark environments. Objects as small as a bicycle lock are discernible at a distance of 15 feet when the IR LEDs kick in. That means if you live in a neighborhood where most break-ins happen after dark, you'll actually have usable footage rather than a silhouette. However, the IR LEDs are not as powerful as some dedicated night vision rigs. You'll notice a slight washout if the scene is completely pitch black, and a moving subject can generate a faint glow around its edges. For a typical suburban yard, this is more than sufficient, but a high-security business with a perimeter fence might want something with stronger infrared. Now, what about the user experience? The NVR interface runs on a web browser and a mobile app, both of which have been updated fairly regularly. When you first plug the system in, the setup wizard walks you through connecting each camera to your Wi-Fi or Ethernet, assigning IP addresses, and setting motion detection zones. The menu hierarchy is a bit deep. You have to click through camera settings, then advanced, then focus/exposure to adjust the autofocus lock, but once you get past the initial learning curve it behaves predictably. The biggest friction point comes when you try to add a third-party camera. The firmware is locked to Lorex branded cams, so if you're hoping to mix in a cheaper generic IP camera, you'll hit a wall. That's not a deal-breaker for most, but it does mean you're committing to the Lorex ecosystem for the life of the system. Battery confidence isn't a factor here because all of the supplied cameras are wired. That eliminates the headache of having to replace or recharge battery packs, which is a win if you're setting up a permanent installation. On the downside, the wired setup means you need to run Ethernet or Power over Ethernet, PoE, to each unit. For a new build or a remodel, this is straightforward, but if you're retrofitting an older house you'll have to consider drilling or using cable-throwing tools, which can add to the installation cost. Who should buy this? If you're a homeowner who wants a set-and-forget system with the ability to zoom in on a specific spot without climbing a ladder, the motorized Varifocal lenses and 4K resolution make it worthwhile. It's also a solid choice for a small office that needs to monitor a reception area, a backroom, and an external parking spot, because the 16-channel capacity lets you expand as your needs grow. The built-in audio channel adds a layer of verification. Hearing a car alarm or a door slam can be just as helpful as a visual cue. Who should skip it? If you're a hobbyist looking to experiment with custom firmware, third-party integration, or you're on a very tight budget, the locked-in ecosystem and the price point, you're paying for the 4 TB drive, the Varifocal lenses, and the audio capability, may feel restrictive. Likewise, if you run a large retail space that needs dozens of cameras and a more robust night vision range, you'll probably outgrow the 16-channel limit and the modest IR reach faster than you'd like. Let's get into the practical strengths. The 4TB drive gives you roughly 2 weeks of continuous 4K recording at 30 frames per second before you have to overwrite old footage, which is generous compared to many other consumer-grade systems that stop at 500 GB or 1 TB. The system also supports RAID 1 mirroring if you